welcome to this week's episode of Hawk Talk. We're your hosts, Hillary Moberg.
And I'm Jacob Marley.
And our guest for this week is Ty Orton.
So Ty, could you tell us a little bit about yourself and who you are and what you do at DSU?
So I'm the Executive Director of the DSU Heritage Foundation. I've been there for 6 years. Prior to that, I was the men's basketball coach at Dickinson State for about 10 years. And been part of DSU since 2007.
Wow.
Yeah.
So I hear you're not originally from this area. So could you kind of tell us what led you to Dickinson and what kind of got you into the executive director?
I knew a friend of mine, Lance Creech, who is a Dickinson State alum and played basketball here, and I think under Coach Milanovic. He told me this job was open, and I talked to a couple friends, Coach Meyer and a couple other people to help people to get me into this position, and we were fortunate enough or Dickinson State was unfortunate enough to get me into the coaching position, and coaching here for quite a long time, and it was a big opportunity. I was always a JUCO coach, and that's what I knew. I played JUCO basketball and then went to another school after that, and then coming here, I always wanted to be a 4-year coach and see how it went, and I really enjoyed it. But then I also knew it was time to try something else.
Yeah, awesome.
Yeah, so can you tell us a little bit about what you do as an executive director of a university foundation?
So we work with the president a lot. We are on the president's cabinet, which has the executive director of the foundation, myself, president, the dean of students, and the CFO on it. So we meet every other week, but we do what we can to help the university out in numerous situations. We help raise money, like for the new Sanford Sports Complex. We helped with that, and that's a community project, so that one's a little different, but that went through the foundation and the university. But we raise scholarship dollars. That's our number one priority. Raise a lot of money. 1.1 million a year for scholarships, which is a nice number for a small university. We do want to get that to around 2 million over the next 5 to 7 years. So we're starting to grow.
Yeah,
awesome.
Good goals, and you certainly stay busy. We've all seen it firsthand, I think. And, so the foundation just hosted the second annual Give Day. We're representing with our sweatshirts here. So what's that event all about, and how did it get started?
So Myron Moore, who is just a tremendous person, we have such great people at the foundation, and our student workers, our part-time employees, and then our full-time employees. But our student workers really keep this thing going. But Myron Moore started this last year. He wanted to be the lead on something, and he really researched this, put a lot of time and effort into this. Started it last year with a goal of I think it was 50,000, I believe.
I think it was 25. Yeah.
Sorry, it was 25,000.
Yeah.
So he blew that way out of the water.
Yeah, tripled it.
Yeah, tripled it. That's right. So this year we had a goal of 75,000, and like I said, Myron does a lot of work for it, and it's not like a lot of other foundations do, where they ask people, "Hey, you want to do a $100,000 gift?" Well, it's March and our Give Day's in November, so let's wait and count it in November. We don't do that. We make it so that everybody who donates on that day, we really count those gifts. That's why it's $75,000. People are like, well, you could raise a lot more. Yes, we can. Overall, our goal for the entire year is around $3.5 million. But this is for new donors. This is for people to get involved all over the country. And Myron went from more of a local campaign that he did the previous year to this year doing a national and starting to do more global, because we have so many international students on here.
So a lot of changes then.
A lot of changes, a lot more work, a lot more stress for Myron, if you know Myron. Like I said, tremendous kid. He works nights. He's an older kid. He's already graduated, played football, but he has done a great job with this Give Day and really made it successful the last 2 years.
Awesome. So you mentioned it sounds pretty successful, and in case people are wondering, where can you go to find the final report for Give Day?
Go to the DSU Heritage Foundation.org. And
/DSU Give Day. That was one that I was tasked with remembering.
She had to remember that part. That's why our student workers are so important, because they handle all the social media and all the fun stuff. I'm responsible for the paperwork.
Yep.
So
fun for you.
That's where we want to see. Go there and see what our final numbers are. See what states we hope all the states were taken care of, and I believe they were, but that's where you can see that report. And the other thing, you want to go on there and get on to update. If you're an alum or if you're a friend and you donate to the university, go on there and you can see so many stories, so many inspirational items, and you can also update if you move just in town or if you move across country, you can get on there and you can update your information.
Awesome.
Yeah, website's good for a lot of different things for us. So even though Give Day is now done for the year, can people still donate to the foundation?
Well, I guess, I mean, it's going to be a tough. No, we are in the middle of our year-end campaign right now. Our December campaign is really pushing through. We have goals for our final month. We have goals for every quarter, goals for every month, and our year-end campaign is right now. We're really pushing our academic and our athletic giving. And it takes money to run a foundation too. We are, like I said, we have 5 full-time employees. We have 8 or 10 student workers.
Number keeps increasing.
It keeps going, but they're good. I mean, I can't say it enough. But so to run the foundation takes money too. We're not covered by the university. We have to help raise our own dollars as well too, to keep the foundation house open, to heat the foundation house. Yes, yep. So it's a lot of work in a lot of areas.
So now that Give Day is done, at the foundation we have a lot of events kind of towards the end of the year. We had big stuff with homecoming, then we have Give Day, and now we have another event coming up, Yule Time. So what is Yule Time?
So Yule Time is something that was started, I believe, 23 years ago, and it has adapted to the current times. We're in Dickinson, North Dakota. This is kind of the social event of the year. It's the way to go. This is, it used to be a black tie affair, and it used to be high end. I mean, limos would be driving up, and we don't do that anymore. We kind of took it to the opposite side. It's a costume party. And this year, we have a theme every year. We've had the Roaring 20s, we've had the 1940s, we've had the 80s last year, and this year is the Battle of the Bands. So we have people that will be showing up as AC/DC, as Kenny Rogers and Dolly Parton, all sorts of people. 2 Chainz, maybe he'll show up. There you go. See? Yeah. So, well, we have all of those and it's not a high-end affair. We want people to have fun.
Laid back.
Yeah. We really want people to enjoy it. But the thing that we really have incorporated since the Heritage Foundation has been in existence is we want everybody to understand that it's for the students. And we have, I believe it's 95 students working this event.
Wow.
So we have all the TR students, we have ag, we have cheer, we have softball, we have football players, we have all sorts we have the band, we have choir, we have representation from so many different areas, PBL. And so you're going to get to know, if you come to this event, you're going to get to know those students, but that's supporting each of their clubs, each of their organizations, and each of their scholarships. So it's a great event. People just love it, but it's a local event. We have a goal to raise $125,000 this year. We're sitting pretty strong, but we also want this to become a national event as well. So you can go online and you can be involved with what we call our Qtego, or our online auction, which Hillary runs. She does the entire thing on this. She's once again, it's not me. There's no way I could do it. I can imagine what would happen if I were to try to do this. So we're very fortunate to have her do what she does for this thing, and it takes a lot of work. She's been working on this for the last 4 months at least.
Probably 5 now.
About 5 now. So she never stops. And so that's where you can be part of that, and you can either look at purchasing something, or you can even give to one of our projects, such as our softball campaign, our TR program, our TR center. There's so many different ways that we raise money. It's just an all-encompassing event.
Awesome. Then how would you say people can directly get involved with Yule Time this year?
So I would go to DSUHeritageFoundation.org.
/
Yule Time.
Yep.
There you go.
Got it. See, I know what's going on.
There you go. Yes, that will be where you can purchase tickets by calling us or just following the link. You'll get some more information, and then we will also be posting updates on the online auction. Once it goes live, we'll have a few item releases to kind of preview before the event. But the online auction is something people can participate in from all over.
Yep.
So you don't just have to be at the event for that one. So beyond the auction, which we talked about, what other events kind of happen at Yuletime that people can expect to?
So with this, we have a live auction. We sell, hidden prizes or those type of things, but it's a very interactive. We wanted this to be interactive. We've all been to those fundraisers where you go sit down and you listen and you have a live auction and you eat your meal and then you leave. We didn't want that. We want this to be fun. We want this to people to be moving the entire time. I mean, we go for right around 6 hours, and people are moving all the time. So they do have their own little area where they eat. They have their own suite at the BAC where 10 people go in there and eat, have a more of a close gathering. But we also have a downstairs area where they have numerous games, and they have all sorts of items that they can play, and they can win prizes, and that's where you interact with a lot of the students. So that'll be like the first hour and a half. And then afterwards, after the live auction, we have a dance. So we have a live band that comes in, and it's a lot of people say, you don't dance anymore. People don't. That doesn't happen at this one.
Yeah.
People dance. They stay and they dance till 11:30 at night and have a good time.
Yeah. So and so as you mentioned, it's kind of become a costume party in a way with all the themes. So do you have a favorite costume that you've dressed up as?
Oh, it was by far the gangster one, the Roaring '20s one. Oh yeah.
Yeah?
That was by far the best one. Yeah. I even had it tailored, and it was all cut, and it was all nice.
Very good. Very
Had hats
fancy.
and canes, and it was good.
We take it seriously.
Yes, we do.
The costumes
We
there.
do.
Good. So then, are there any themes you're hoping to see for Yuletime in the future? Any we haven't hit yet?
I don't know yet. Everybody, we have talked about a Western one,
Okay.
a true 1840s Western hardcore one, all the way through futuristic and space theme. I don't know where
That'd be pretty cool.
but who knows? So we're kind of up in the air on those. We usually make the decision in May and then kind of start pushing it. So.
Are there any other events DSU supporters should keep on their radar for this year?
Yeah, the Touchdown Club always has several events for the football program. They do a phenomenal job. Eric Betcher just has ran that and just puts a lot of time and effort into that. They're always doing things for the Touchdown Club. And then the Booster Club also has the big rendezvous coming up, and that's in March. I believe the softball team has a crab feed also. And then the other one is for rodeo. So we have, and that one's Cowboys in Candlelight. I believe that one's in February. So there's a lot of different events that are smaller. We try not to do events that overlap. There's not 5 athletic events. There's one major athletic event. The Touchdown Club does a lot of smaller events. Yuletime is probably the biggest one that takes care of everybody, where the rendezvous is strictly athletics. So we really make sure that we're pushing the academic side, we're pushing the athletic side, we're pushing the rodeo side, clubs and organizations. So we try to have events, but we try not to overdo it, because Dickinson is one of the best communities to live in, giving-wise. They have done so many things. We had a faculty member she went through some hard times this year, and she's still recovering, and the Dickinson community came out and raised thousands of dollars to help her and her family out, and that just shows what type of community.
Incredible.
Yeah.
Well, of course, so you mentioned that the Heritage Foundation, they put on a lot of events and they do a lot of scholarships. And of course, the Heritage Foundation scholarships open again this year. So how can students see what they qualify for, and where can they apply for that scholarship?
So the biggest thing that we do with scholarships, which Hillary helped with that as well, building the thing, we make it as easy as possible for a student to apply for a scholarship. You go to the DSUHeritageFoundation.org. We have everything on that one. And there's a button up there on top that says apply for 23-24 scholarships. So all it is pretty much a one-page application, and that puts you in the running for all scholarships. And it's done by majors, because we have donors that will give for social sciences, some that will give toward natural sciences, computer sciences, all different forms of majors. And if you put that as your major, then you automatically qualify for whatever scholarships are available. Some, being relatively new, we're only 6 years old, okay? And being relatively new, we don't have, every program doesn't have 200 scholarships. Some programs only have 15 with with 55 kids in there. So right now our scholarships take care of about 50 to 55% of the students at Dickinson State.
Wow.
So it's a good number, but our goal as a foundation is to get to the 70% level. And currently we're at about $1,600 average scholarship for students. So, but it's a very easy process. Go on there, apply for those, and there's always money there. That's the thing. We have so many people, so many alums that want to give back to a university that changed so much about their lives. There's scholarships out there. They just apply. Take your 2 minutes and apply.
Exactly. Yes. When we were getting it up and running for this year, I made Ty apply, and you probably had it done in like 5 minutes.
Oh, yeah,
it really didn't take too long. And just another little plug: new students, incoming students for that school year can apply as well. You just have to have an application on file at DSU. So if you know someone who's going to come, make sure to let them know that this application exists. It's super easy to apply, and we'll do all the work for you, basically. All you have to do is get your information in there.
Correct.
So we like to ask a few fun questions for you. And as you mentioned, I work at the Heritage Foundation as a student worker. So we've been able to hear a lot of your stories about your coaching days. So I wanted to ask, do you have a favorite memory from your time coaching?
You know, it's hard. Some of them probably can't talk about on here. A lot of those were just being part of the team, being part of the practices. Wasn't really a fan of the games. I hated the bus rides. The bus rides were horrible too. The games were, you'll always remember games, you'll always remember some of them, but that's not what sports is about. That's not what being part of something bigger than you is about. It's not. It's about all the other items that led up to it. You know, you have more memories in practice. You have more memories in film session. I remember one day I was trying to prove a point. We did a 4.5-hour film session. It was unbelievable, and it was dumb, but the guys still make fun of it. They still remember it, and they said, you know, and I think we have, over the 7 years here, I think we have 50 or 60 of those players that went on to coach. So hopefully we taught them something, or taught them what not to do at least. But yeah, there's a lot of memories, but overall I just think it's just getting to know those students and seeing them develop from where they were to where they are now. It's just a unique thing.
Very cool. So then another fun question for you. If you couldn't coach basketball, what other sport would you want to coach, if any?
I don't think I would.
Really?
Yeah, I think
Not loyal?
Going back at it and looking at it, I had 20 years of college basketball coaching men and women. All those years we've had nationally ranked teams. We've sent kids to the professional level. You know, we've sent kids that you had to kick off the team that had professional talent, you know, and it's just, there's a lot of things that the highs and lows of it. Sometimes it's hard, but I don't know if I would if I have to do. The recruiting's tough. I mean, for people to understand what Dickinson State coaches go through, and small school coaches. One of the prime examples, I believe, is a K-State coach. He was a D3 coach, and now he's at K-State or Kansas, and now he's one of the best coaches in the nation. And they're starting to see, hey, small-town coaches, or small-time coaches, as they say it, small majors, are tremendous coaches because they have to do everything themselves. They don't have assistants. They don't have millions of dollars to work with. I mean, Coach Stanton is living proof of that. Just phenomenal with everything he did. Coach Bijou, what he did with his time here. You know, Tim Daniel, when he was coaching. I mean, you have some coaches that just really did some phenomenal things at this university that people don't understand. We don't have the scholarships that a Rocky Mountain has, a Carroll College, even a Jamestown. We have less than that, but we have that fight, we have that desire, and we have that work ethic that takes us over the top in a lot of areas.
I think it all comes back to culture as well, you know?
Yeah.
But of course, so lastly, we ask everybody this question. What does DSU mean to you?
You know, Dickinson State is something that I've seen build a lot of individuals. Dickinson State is a place where anybody can find a home. And President Easton and I talk about this quite often. He loves Dickinson State with all his heart. You both know that. He's hardcore. I did not go to Dickinson State, but being here for so long, it feels like I did. I've always said this. I feel like there's people that have always accepted us in the community, at the university. But Dickinson State just allows you to become the person and build what you want it to be. And sometimes that's good, sometimes that's bad.
Yeah.
Sometimes you do slip, and in a small community, people see that and they call you out. But that's life. Everybody slips. Everybody makes a mistake, and that's where hey, you got to forgive, you got to forget, you got to move on. You have to learn from that mistake, and I think Dickinson State allows that to happen with a lot of individuals, students and adults, if you will. You know, because the students see that where they come in here, and I've had some bad times in my life, and now I'm going to try to change my life, and that's allowed to happen. We allow that to happen here, and you see what Dickinson State builds and where those players and those students go afterwards. It's kind of a cool thing.
Well, awesome. Thank you, Ty, again for your time. It was really interesting to hear about your story and kind of like the perspective of a coach. I really enjoyed that. But so anyway, thank you guys for watching. Make sure you stick around right after this for the on-campus interview with Abby and Coulter.
Welcome to the 2021-2022 school year at Dickinson State University. The DSU Heritage Foundation is excited to bring the Blue Hawk Scholarship Fund to the DSU campus.
The Blue Hawk Scholarship Fund is comprised of your general and sport-specific giving, named scholarships, advertising, sponsorship of athletic programs, endowments, and program greatest needs support. Made possible by you, the Blue Hawk Scholarship Fund and the DSU Heritage Foundation will award over $700,000 in athletic support for the 2021-2022 school year.
Donate to the Blue Hawk Scholarship Fund today.
Visit us online at dsuheritagefoundation.org and help support Blue Hawk athletes in the classroom, in competition, and in our community.
Come soar with the Hawks.
Thanks, guys, in the studio. I'm Abby Clute here with Will Flowers, so go ahead and introduce yourself.
Hi, my name is Will Flowers, and I run cross country at DSU.
Where are you from, and what's kind of your area of specialty in cross country and/or track and field?
Okay, I guess I'm from Corvallis, Montana. It's just an hour south from Missoula in a small valley. And I specialize in the long distance events when it comes to track and cross country. You ran the high school 5K, and now it went up to an 8K in college. So I guess 8K, 5K, 3K, 10K, half marathon. That's what I would specialize in.
So Will recently qualified for nationals at cross country. So do you have any pre-race traditions or anything you do while preparing for this meet?
Oh yeah, we got a couple. So usually we'll do a team dinner either before or just a couple days before a big meet like conference. And that's when, I think it's pretty standard for most teams, but it's just when you get together all together like a family and you eat over good food and have good conversations before the race, just kind of get locked in for that mindset and the big day. So another thing that we do is day of the meet, we'll go ahead and we'll pray in a circle about 5 minutes before the race starts, and then we'll go ahead and have Balo break us down, and we'll get out there and get ready to race.
So along with Will, Cole Jensen, Sarah Griffiths, and Grace Tim have all qualified to race in Tallahassee, Florida. So how does the climate change kind of impact your practice schedule and going down there and mental preparations?
I guess we're going to have to just sit in the sauna for a little bit after each and every practice. We've got a lot of snow on the ground right now, so if we go from having our muscles just being really cold to then going to Florida, and just getting blasted with heat and humidity, which I don't think it's going to be all that bad, but I guess we're just going to have to either train a little bit more indoors to get like that feeling of being hot, and then maybe sitting 20 minutes in the sauna after a race or after a practice. So we'll just have to see how that goes.
So what are you looking most forward to going down to Florida?
Well, I guess getting out of this weather a little bit. I've never been down to Florida before. Gulf Shores, Alabama is the furthest that I went, so that's only like an hour and a half away from each other, but I think it'll be nice to hang out on the beach for a little bit and see what running on a gator-infested golf course might be like in Florida, so looking forward to that.
So our last question is always the standard one. What does DSU mean to you?
Oh, I think that DSU means to me, I think it means to have a family that you can always rely on, always be proud of, and always count on. In high school, I had a pretty good relationship with my team. The camaraderie was number one when it came to everything, and DSU, that feeling immediately increased. Like, there's no better family than what I have here at DSU. When it just comes to having people that you can rely on and run with and have fun with, I think DSU is all about that when it comes to their athletics and academics.
Well, good luck in Florida. Be on the lookout for the DSU Blue Hawks next week in Florida. And I'm Abby Cluth, Will Flowers. Back to you in the studio.
Thank you to Abby and Coulter for the on-campus interview with Will Flowers. And now into the sports recap.
So for basketball, the men's and women's basketball teams have been traveling to Montana quite a lot these past few weekends to participate in some various classics. The Sam Milanovic Classic is coming up for the men's basketball team here in Dickinson. That'll be November 25th and 26th at 7 o'clock p.m. both days. They'll be playing the University of Montana Western and Rocky Mountain College, so be sure to check those out. Women's basketball will also be playing those days, but I don't think it's part of that classic. It's sort of separate, but they'll be playing the Rocky Mountain College as well at 3 p.m. both days.
Awesome.
Then for cross country, the North Star Athletic Association conference meet was hosted here in Dickinson on November 4th. Men's and women's teams did spectacularly. It was very cold. It kept getting delayed, so it was really impressive that they were able to go out and do so well. Both teams took second out of the 6 teams there.
Awesome.
So congrats to all of them. And then a special shout out to the individual runners who qualified. That was Sarah Griffiths, Grace Tim, Cole Jensen, and Will Flowers, who we just interviewed. And they competed at the NAIA National Meet in Tallahassee, Florida on November 18th.
Awesome. And then for football played in Mayville on November 5th and won 58-7. With that, we were able to secure our 8th straight conference win, or conference championship, my bad, correction. And then our last home game of the season was against Presentation College on November 12th. And the Blue Hawks won 73-16 and moved from 18 to number 14 nationally ranked in the NAIA polls. The team will be on the road to Orange City, Iowa for the opening round of the playoffs against Northwestern College on November 19th. Be sure to check the DSU Blue Hawks page for the official results of that game. And for wrestling had their blue-gray duel at home on November 19th.
So, very exciting week in sports. Then for Fine and Performing Arts, they have a holiday concert coming up on November 29th, so be sure to check that out. That'll probably be in May Hall in the auditorium there. I believe it's Stickney. So be sure to check that out.
Awesome. And again, thank you to all our supporters for watching and keeping us going.
To our sponsors as well. Yep. We really appreciate everything you do for us. Be sure to check out our social media accounts, our Twitter at DSU Heritage, our Instagram at DSU Foundation, and our Facebook, DSU Heritage Foundation. So with that,
Hawks are up.